Good afternoon, live from Kbev Studios in Beverly Hills High School. Welcome to the 2018 Sophomore Debate. Today's debate is hosted by myself, Maya Yosef, and Jason Harward. And this was formed by Kbev Highlights and ASB. Today's debate is going to include the sophomore presidents, vice presidents, and representatives. I am Noah Danesh from Kbev again, and Maya Yosef.
I'm Maya Yosef, ASB president.
I'm Jason Harward, a co-editor-in-chief of Highlights. We are your moderators for today's debate.
I'd like to start by welcoming the candidates for the sophomore presidents, Michael, Madison, Natasha, and Elad. Thank you for joining us, and we will begin with your opening statements. By random selection, Natasha, you will be going first.
Hey guys, I'm Natasha Malamed, and I'm running for our sophomore class president. I genuinely care about making this school a better place. My goal is to work with the student body and ASB to plan events and create various programs to increase school spirit and bond as a class. I want to use your voice and hear your ideas. I will use what I've learned about teamwork and leadership through playing varsity basketball, being the president of my middle school, and an ASB representative to make our school truly enjoyable. I truly believe we can make a difference, so let's work together to make this year our best one yet.
Thank you, and now to Michael.
Hey everyone, my name is Michael Newman. With my experience in ASB this year as your freshman president, I've gained substantial knowledge from what you guys want and have taken action immediately. I will work hard in making sure the freshman water balloon fight I have been coordinating is approved. Thanks to all your feedback, I have been able to plan such an amazing event. I have been working diligently and will continue to do so as your sophomore class president. I want to continue to hear your ideas. Your ideas and interests will help to make our sophomore year the best it can be. So please put your trust in me and vote Michael Newman for your sophomore class president.
Thank you, Michael. Now to Elad.
All right, I'm Elad Farmanfar, and I'm also running for your sophomore president. As president, I want to make sure everybody looks forward not to only outside school activities, but attending to school. I want to make sure that everybody comes together as a family, because through events and through outside curricular activities, we can make a bond with everybody through positivity and love. Also, knowing that I'm a loyal leader, I'm determined to do anything I set my mind to. If I have any goal that I want to make, have any activity, then I'm going to do it.
Thank you, Elad.
Hi, I'm Madison Heller, and I'm running for sophomore president. Next year, I hope to find ways to address our morale and funding deficits while being an advocate for our student body. As your sophomore president, I hope to fairly and honestly represent all of the diverse perspectives in our class and do everything in my power to make Beverly more enjoyable for all of us. I hope to focus on policy change that will have a long-lasting, measurable impact. Thank you.
Thank you. And now we're going to move to questions that were formed by ASB, Highlights, and Kbev. These questions have not been shared with the candidates. Maya?
So I'll start it off. So this is kind of general, but if you can get to the specifics, that would be great. What is your vision for the sophomore class?
This will start
Starting
with
it off with
Natasha.
Natasha.
Okay, I want to make sure that our sophomore year is a place where we look forward to coming to school. I want to make sure that through planning events, I know it's been hard through the whole construction thing, the school has kind of been separated, but I want to make sure we can come together as a class and have the best year yet. I want to plan fun sporting events, teacher versus student dodgeball, and other things. I want to use my previous knowledge from ASB to increase this.
Thank you, Natasha. Michael?
As your sophomore class president, I want to make sure that the events that we're planning is things that you guys are interested in. I want to hear your ideas because it's really all about you guys. It's not about really what I want to happen. It's about you guys because I'm representing all of you. So hearing your ideas this year and hopefully continuing to hear that next year as your sophomore class president would be something very important.
Thank you, Mike.
Well, as president, I know that I'm going to keep everybody happy and keep everything organized, but throughout all the trouble within the fence and all these new school rules, I kind of just want to bring everybody together and bring everybody to be in a good mood and to bring everybody up, such as how everybody comes out of nutrition and they bring out music and everybody comes out and that's what I want to bring to the school, not just in school but outside of school also, and make sure everybody looks forward to going.
Very good, thank you.
Despite all of the changes, disruption, and unexpected obstacles we had to face this past year, I really do believe you all have a lot of heart. I really have faith in our class. And one word that's been brought up numerous times in ASB this past year is one. We all need to come together as one and just be a force to be reckoned with. We all have so many unique, diverse perspectives and backgrounds, and that all just comes together as one amazing class. And there's so much we have to offer. And being at Beverly, there are so many different resources we have. We have theater, we have sports. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Now we're going to move to Jason for the next question.
So something I think two of you mentioned was the new security measures at school. I think we'll start from Madison this time, but what are your kind of realistic ideas for making entering and leaving school more efficient?
I was really, really pleased when admin put up the fence and implemented the policy with the ID cards, but I don't believe that's enough. 700 kids didn't show up to school the day we had the threat, and there has to be more that we can do. We need to put up bulletproof doors. There needs to be more SROs. There's more that we can do, and it's just, this is not enough in my opinion. I mean, we have to work closely with admin and make sure that we're doing everything in our power to come to school each and every day and be safe. Like, we shouldn't sit in our classes and be worried about a shooter that, yeah.
Thank you, Max.
All right, so I kind of agree what they did with the fence, but the one problem I have with the fence is that it's still completely open, like all around. Like, it's not a huge wall. Like, it's holes all around it. But I think we should get more security kind of around the school. It's really good how nobody can just walk in the school, but there's a problem since every door has a window, and the rooms are really easy to break into. And we also need, like, I think we should get like metal detectors just to check kids when they come in, because the kids are the threat, not really other people. Yeah.
So I think that what we've done this year is really just the first step to securing our campus, because I've spoken with several other students from other schools, and I know that their security measures are face scanners, like fingerprint scanners to get into the school. And I think that just showing a security guard your ID card, which if someone is really motivated to do something to the school, I think they can really get past that. So I think that we have to take several steps, because this is just the first step, and I think we should learn from other schools, maybe specifically private schools who have more funds and are safer.
Yeah.
So I feel school should be like a safe place. We shouldn't be having to sit in class and worry about someone coming in with a gun and shooting up the school. But at the same time, so I feel like administration has been putting in a lot of efforts, and we're kind of facing a dilemma, because sure, like, we say we want a fence, we say we want armed guards, but we also say we want to have a nice, enjoyable, open campus, and we don't want it to look like a prison. But I feel like there's ways to avoid this. I feel like by hiring SROs, which are armed guards, to have around campus and do things to make us feel safe, I feel like we could collaborate with the Beverly Hills Police Department to plan programs in order to teach us what to do in case of an emergency.
So those are all great things that you guys are going to do. How are you guys going to work to make sure that what you say is going to happen? How are you going to show the people in your class that you're going to be transparent in making this happen? So we'll start with Michael for this one.
So what I would do is that I would probably make like a survey and see what kids would really want to happen, because I feel like what happened with the fence is that a lot of kids didn't come to school because they didn't feel safe, but then they got unhappy about the fence. So I feel like we need to see what the kids want, and also the parents, because I feel like kids wouldn't know as much as the parents would. At the same time, though, the children know how safe they would feel with what would be incorporated. So I feel like we really need to take action instead of words, and really work with admin closely to make sure that something really does happen.
All right, so first thing I would do is kind of talk to administration about what I really want to do specifically. Since I have a couple ideas about what I think should change with the fence and kind of change with security, we also have to kind of like maintain a budget, because we still have to pay security guards, and getting more security is a problem. Plus, you want to change stuff about the fence, and let's say get metal detectors, we need to figure out first our budget. And we also have to see with the kids if they're okay with it, because like it's going to be kind of annoying to get checked, but if you really want to be safe, then that's what you're going to have to do. And I want to and that's it.
Do you mind repeating the question?
Yeah, how are you going to work to make sure that what you say is actually going to happen, and what are your steps to do that?
So being an ASB this past year, we've learned that administration does say no. They're very strict, and oftentimes kids in ASB will come up with amazing ideas that the whole student body is so enthusiastic about, but it doesn't get approved from like the activity requests and stuff. And I truly believe that we have to make it a win-win situation. We should be working together with administration. We shouldn't be working against them. And I believe that all parents, all faculty, and all students all want the same thing. We all want to be educated while having an enjoyable high school experience, and we all want to be safe. And so that's number one.
So I feel like there's just been a lot of talk been going around saying we need this, we need that, but I feel like we really have to take action. I feel like we should have more meetings. When we had that one day when the police officers came and interacted with the students, talked about school safety and the situation that occurred a couple months ago. I feel like we need to have more days like that, have maybe training days where we can kind of prepare ourselves in case of emergency, have metal detectors around school, SROs, just more stuff like that to make sure the student body is feeling safe.
Very good. Thank you, Natasha. And Jason had one more.
Yeah, this will be the last question. As I know a lot of you talked about school spirit, so there is a substantial portion of your class and every class that is not involved in a substantial way. How do you get those people to involve themselves more?
You go first. Oh, okay.
So one idea I brought up in ASB this year was this idea of a parent-run booster club. And that is a group of parents working closely with PTSA that basically attends all of our sports games, all of our concerts, whatever it may be. They come and really bring spirit. Whether that's waving a yellow towel or an orange towel, my bad, or chanting the Norman fight song, like whatever it may be, we need more spirit, and we bring that up each and every day. It's one of our biggest problems in ASB, and there's so much more that we can do. And being elected as your sophomore president, I can truly say this, and I promise you, when you come to school every day, you will feel the spirit, you will feel the Norman pride.
All right, to show school spirit, like you have to like really be excited about what you're doing and what you're going into. So as president, I'm gonna make sure that everybody's really looking forward into like participating and kind of putting themselves out there, because there's like some kids who have really good ideas and can do really good things to the school, but they never have a chance to bring it out, and I'm gonna make sure that they're able to. Also, as long as kids are really happy about school, they're gonna like attend all events, and like everyone will participate, and that'll cause like the school to have a lot more school spirit. Like the basketball games everyone goes to, and like like they have really good school spirit, and other sports are starting to have that too.
Thank you.
Personally, what I've done is I've went out and spoken to my peers, and I've heard their ideas. And so I was working this semester on planning the freshman water balloon fight that's supposed to happen in May. And although sometimes admin, which their reason is to keep us safe, they have some concerns about it, I'm still determined to keep on going and work with admin closely, not kind of beat around the corner, but work with them to achieve this event that will raise spirit, because students and freshmen, they still kind of don't all know each other. So I feel like this will get us together by doing something that's really fun. Also, for next year, I plan to bring an In-N-Out truck to one lunchtime any day during the year, because I feel like a lot of people will just appreciate this like lunch event.
So I feel like a way we can increase school spirit is by just making sure when kids come to school, they're having fun. I feel like by communicating with the students, as president, I want to communicate with the student body and each and every one of you to see what you guys think is good for our school. If you guys want to have, like you said, food trucks, or a project I've been working on this year is communicating with restaurants on Beverly Drive to have them sell food at school to increase ASB card sales. So I feel like by doing little steps like this and making the events more fun, hearing your guys' ideas, we will increase school spirit.
Thank you very much. And so those were the presidential candidates. Thank you guys very much.
Thank you, guys.
So you guys can move off now. We'll have the vice president candidates come up. While they do that, Maya, can you tell us what the vice president candidates do?
Well, the rules in ASB are defined in our constitution, and so basically vice president is in charge of like communicating with clubs and activities on campus and making sure that clubs have the right things that they need in order to function.
And Jason, what do you think is the most important part of the vice presidential candidate race?
I mean, I think it's very interesting to see.
You can keep talking.
I think it's very interesting to see how they interact with their president. If there's a disagreement or some sort of difference in ideas, I think it's interesting to see whether the vice president continues or defers to the president, and I think that's something I'll be looking for.
So while we wait for the vice presidential candidates, we'll move first to the representatives. If we could have the representatives come up from the back. And while they come, Maya, can you tell us what the representatives do for that?
Yeah, so basically they just need to get everybody in the grade's voice heard. So they take surveys, go out, reach new people, talk to them, get to know them, make sure that everybody's heard. Yeah.
And Jason, again, what do you think is the important aspect of the representatives and their role here in the Beverly Hills High School?
I think it's how they kind of get that information and what medium they use to find out what their peers want, because peers can sometimes mean just their close group of friends, but in a perfect world, it would mean their entire grade. So I think it's interesting to see how they plan to gather information.
Very good. So we have the representatives coming up right now. And my final thing before we get to them is, how did this debate come about? Jason, you want to tell us how this happened?
I think it was just a way for the student body to be more involved in elections and not just see a name and pick it, but kind of know what they're getting from a candidate. I think that's the first step toward ASB elections being more visible.
Very good. Yeah. Definitely. So we now have the two representatives up here for the ASB race. They are going to be telling you guys what they want to do here and what they're going to do if they get to their position. You're also going to get 30 seconds for each answer, and we'll start with the opening statement. So we'll start with you.
I'm Arian Tabibian, and I'm running for sophomore representative, and I hope that I can improve the school and carry on what I learned this year as freshman rep and make the school better for everybody. Hope everybody could have a better experience.
It is hard to fail, but it is worse never to have tried to succeed. Theodore Roosevelt was a creative man who did creative things, and his ambition to help make a difference in the American people's lives has inspired me to run for sophomore representative of Beverly Hills High. I have faith in myself and my fellow peers, for I know that they will choose the right candidate.
Thank you very much. Maya, we'll start with you.
Yeah, so I'll start it off. So what steps can you guys take to better solicit input from students in your grade? And how can you ensure that students outside of ASB can provide feedback and input on as many student government issues as possible?
So one way we can spread word and information about ASB events is by sending representatives and emissaries to actually advertise and go into classes during ASB class, and they will, it'll probably take like a 5-minute meeting, 5-minute introduction, and we'll just promote the word. As far as Jupiter grades goes, it's been working out well already, but to maximize the amount of attendees, we need to actually have actual representatives go to people's classes.
So one of the main goals for this year that I was working on in ASB was including the students into our activities, and one of the ideas I had was a suggestion box. And with the suggestion box, it would be a place where students outside of ASB could put their input on what they want to see in our school to make it a better place and to help them have a sense of feeling like they're a part of our school.
Thank you, guys.
So I just have a question. What is the process, or what do you think the process should be for somebody outside of ASB having an idea all the way to having that actually planned? What do you think is the most streamlined way to make that happen?
Well, that's the main purpose of being sophomore rep. One of it being that we collect information and advice and suggestions. That's actually one of the main essential parts of running for this office. And it's the main important objective is to actually gather intel and suggestions, and we could do this by sending representatives of ASB. I'm willing to go to classes, specifically freshmen, because they aren't as informed as ASB events as the older grades. So I feel like that is the main way to spread word, and also to collect suggestions, because you could take a poll for advice.
All right, so one of the things I want to do is instead of keeping what I want to happen in ASB, I think one of the main things we should do is first listen to the students, and we should hear what they have to say, because if we hear what they have to say, we could put our opinions and their opinions and put it together to make everybody have a better experience and have their opinions inputted into the class.
Great. Have you guys done anything in your past year as freshmen that would qualify you guys for this position? We'll start. I've
actually participated in many ASB events, being track field events, swimming events, and I personally love it. And so my love and passion for these events has motivated me to actually be a part and host and create these events. And I actually have many ideas and lists of really cool activities and projects, school projects, ASB projects that can rally and unify school spirit in all grades.
So this year I was the freshman rep, so I already had a feel for what I need to do to have that position and to succeed in it. So I went to a lot of the events and the activities that we had, and I got a better feel of how that position works and what I have to do to be a great leader in this school. And in addition to that, I was a part of Team BHEF this year and a couple other student leadership programs, and that also helped me with becoming a leader in their school.
Very good. Thank you guys to the representatives. That is the representative debate. We'll now bring on the vice presidents for the candidates. For the vice presidency, Maya.
Good job, guys.
Great job again. Great job.
Thank you.
So we'll have Nahal on this side, please, and Bridgette on that
Nahal
side.
on this side.
Thank you very much. So Jason, what are you looking forward to for coming after the debates today? Yeah. So for the live audience here.
I think it's gonna be interesting to talk to the people who are here about what they liked, what they didn't like. Obviously we have 3 more coming up, so it's always an adapting process, just to make it more streamlined and make kind of our questions better and get better responses. So.
Very good. So you guys can adjust your microphones, and the same rules will apply. We're going to be asking questions of you with 30-second responses, but we'll begin first with the 30-second opening statement. We'll start with you, Nahal.
Hi, everyone. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Nahal Sarafian, and I'm running for sophomore vice president. I've had the opportunity this year to see how ASB works as a freshman commissioner, and I've learned how much effort and dedication it requires to bring our class together. I've heard many of your concerns and amazing ideas, and I'm excited to work with you to make our high school experience the best it can be. If I win my election, I promise to dedicate my time to not only listening to each and every one of you, but to also be the one to make your hopes for Beverly become a reality.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Bridgette Mishkani, and I'm running for sophomore vice president. I'm your current freshman treasurer, and I have gathered information and have realized how ASB runs and how big of a time commitment and hard work it is. As vice president, I want to contribute to the class in a way where every student's voice is heard. I want to plan events and create ideas that will involve students outside of ASB to have a say of how events should be planned. If I am elected vice president, I will represent the voices of our sophomore class. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
So I'll start it off again. How can you guys better the communication and transparency between clubs and ASB on campus?
So one thing that is important is having each different part of the school it has to be easy for them to give us advice and give us ideas that they have in their specific clubs and their specific friend groups. So one way we can do this is send polls, or just as ASB members, we can go to their clubs. It takes lunchtime, but it's an important part. Go to their clubs and see what they've been doing and incorporate their ideas into our experience in high school.
So as sophomore vice president, I would take the role of going to every club and seeing if they have an idea for what they want in their club, to let me know what kind of events or ideas they might have, and I would bring that to class and share that with the rest of my class and hopefully create an event or help them plan their idea based off of that.
I mean, when working with clubs or outside, just with activities in general, I think somebody brought up early in the debate how the administration sometimes says no and sometimes shoots you down. So what are your ideas for not combating that, but trying to work around it and maybe making a better proposal or showing that there's student interest? What's your ideas for that?
So from being in ASB this year, I've realized that working with administration is not always the easiest. They work very well with us, but when there's something we can't do in ASB, we find other ways that will make the administration happy and will also make our school happy and will help our class in a way that our administration will enjoy and we will enjoy also.
So in my opinion, a lot of the time when admin sometimes turns down an event or an activity because of legitimate reasons, a lot of the time that activity is forgotten about. And so I think instead of just once it's a no, instead of saying that, you say, okay, let's find somewhere in the middle where we can meet and find compromise with admin so that the students can get what they want, but also admin has no reason to tell us not to.
Very good. So how will you guys both work to assist the president in completing their tasks, and how will you be able to fit your agenda with their agenda? Nahal will start.
So along with the president, I plan to make sure that each future sophomore in ASB, including myself, does the most they can do and gives as many ideas from their peers to make the next few years enjoyable. So not only 1 or 2 people from our grade is doing all the work, but the work is evenly distributed between everyone.
If I am elected vice president, I will make sure that my ideas will align with the ideas of the president, and I will work with the president every day to make sure our schedules fit, and we will plan events together that will both make us happy and the school happy.
Very good. Thank you guys very much for the vice presidential candidates.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We are now bringing up the treasurer. We have one treasurer who will be running for the sophomore class. While she comes up, we're going to, again, say the rules. You're going to have a 30-second opening statement, and then we'll all be asking you questions. So go ahead with your opening statement.
Hi, I'm Taylor Samidi, and I'm running for next year's sophomore treasurer. I want to make a difference for the school, and I want to contribute to making school a more fun and exciting place, and also by hearing your voices. I'm best for this position because I'm organized, experienced, creative, hardworking, dedicated, and I hope you make the right decision in electing me as your treasurer.
Thank you very much.
Cool. So as treasurer, how specifically do you plan to raise money for your class? And how do you plan to raise money for the entire student body? And what are some steps you can take and practical goals to meet as treasurer?
As far as raising money, I plan on throwing many fundraisers. Specifically, maybe we can throw fundraisers at certain restaurants such as CBK, and we can also come up with ideas such as bake sales and selling food just throughout the school. And I want to raise money so that the expenses and certain events and apparels will be at a lower cost for the school, and I hope that just raises money for the whole school. And
so you are the only one up there, so can you explain why you came?
I want to be in this class to show my leadership. I feel like I'm a leader, and I want that to contribute to me having a position in this class, and specifically being treasurer. I feel like this will help me just with school and in life by planning, being dedicated, and putting in hard work.
Very good. So being the treasurer, a lot of different clubs and programs come and ask for money. How are you going to decipher which ones deserve the money and which one you want to allocate the money to, and how will you work with the rest of ASB to make sure that the money goes to the right place?
Well, I think all clubs deserve an equal amount of money. It also depends on how serious their club is and how committed they are. If they, for example, if they meet maybe every week or a few times a week, maybe they will get more money than certain other clubs. And the smaller other clubs, we can obviously still give them money. It just depends on how committed they are and how serious they are about their program.
Just as a follow-up to that, how do you plan to calculate how much each club should get? And should the same money go to a club that's, you know, donating the money, and one that's doing community service, and one that's for its own interests, or should that also be taken into account?
I feel like we need to see how much total money we make and how much each club requests for, and wait, can you repeat the question, please?
Yeah, so the money that you will be allocating to the different clubs, how do you plan to distribute that in a way, and how do you expect to look at each club and give each club the amount of money that they deserve?
Yeah, I think it also depends on what their money is going towards for. As you said, donating. Yeah, basically depends on the total money we make, and that's how we're going to determine, yeah, based on the fundraisers.
Well, very good. Thank you so much, Taylor,
Thank
for
you.
being up here and applying for the treasurer position.
Good job. Thank you.
And thank you to everyone who came today and to everyone who watched on the live stream. You have been watching the sophomore debate here on kbev6.com and Channel 6 in Beverly Hills. You can learn more about the candidates with their bios at beverlyhighlights.com, and make sure to vote for these candidates on Juno by next week. We will see you tomorrow for the junior debate. I'm Danesh, and thank you for watching.